Hey Army! Welcome back to K-Pop Fair, your go-to place for the latest news and exciting stories from the K-pop world. Get ready, because we're about to dive into everything that makes you love your idols even more. Let's go! Have you ever witnessed a bond so quiet yet so powerful, it doesn't need words to prove it exists? A connection that unfolds not in front of the spotlight, but in the in-between moments the world almost misses? Because what if I told you that among all the dazzling lights and deafening cheers, the most genuine relationship in BTS isn't always the one that shouts the loudest, but the one that whispers through the silence? Recently, a gym owner, someone who sees BTS not on stage, but in their most human form, confirmed something many fans have felt for years. That Jungkook and Taehyung weren't just gym buddies. They were the first to show up, together, before anyone else. And that detail, that they were the first, it matters more than you think. It wasn't just about lifting weights or staying fit. It was about choosing to show up for each other in the quiet hours, away from the noise, when no one was watching. And when Jungkook mentioned in a video that he'd been training with Taehyung for over 2.5 months, it wasn't a flex. It was a window into something deeper, into trust, into consistency, into love. Maybe? Then, something beautiful happened. Namjoon, Suga, and Jimin followed. But they weren't the start of the movement. Taehyung and Jungkook were. They led, not with loud announcements, but with quiet devotion. There's something intimate about routines. Waking up, showing up, working out together. It's not glamorous, but it's real. That kind of closeness only comes when hearts move in sync. In another video, Jungkook casually asks Taehyung if he worked out with him. A simple question. But sometimes simple things reveal everything. It wasn't forced. It was familiar. A daily rhythm that speaks louder than declarations. The gym owner watches this unfold every day. No need for filters, edits, or fan theories. Just raw, unfiltered connection. And the fact that their closeness is most visible when no one's supposed to see it? That says it all. Their relationship has never been about performative gestures. It's about shared meals after a workout. It's about listening to each other's solo songs before anyone else hears them. It's about trust that lives in private. When Jungkook decided to eat with Taehyung at a restaurant, before inviting others, it wasn't to isolate. It was to share something quiet, something sacred. Just the two of them. They didn't broadcast it. They didn't need to. Because when a bond is strong enough, the world will feel it, even when it's unspoken. In a live performance, Jungkook told the world he was training with Taehyung. And fans felt the pride in his voice. The joy of having someone who moves with you. Not just beside you, but with you. Some call it friendship. Some call it something more. But whatever you name it, you can't deny it. And it's not always grand gestures. Sometimes, it's as subtle as helping someone cut their meat. A gesture Jungkook has done more than once for Taehyung. Not as a favor. As a habit. As love. In one unforgettable moment on Run BTS, when the members had to choose between meat and seafood, Taehyung chose seafood without hesitation. Jungkook, who famously adores meat, paused, and then changed his mind. Not because he suddenly loved seafood, but because Taehyung was eating seafood. That decision. That was devotion. Quiet, powerful, unapologetic devotion. While others walked to a different table, Jungkook stayed. Because sitting beside Taehyung meant more to him than any favorite food. That's not a coincidence. That's a choice made from the heart. In another clip, Jungkook mentioned being full. Jimin offered to move, but Jungkook stayed seated. Why? Because Taehyung was still eating. Jungkook continued, not out of hunger, but out of love. These are not one-off events. These are patterns. Repeated acts of gentle loyalty. A language without syllables, but rich with meaning. And fans have learned to read it. Over the years, we've watched them exchange glances that last a heartbeat too long. Sit a little closer than necessary. Choose each other always. Even when there are a dozen options, Jungkook finds his way to Taehyung. Whether it's pulling up a chair, standing beside him in silence, or laughing at something only they understand. It's not about PDA. It's about presence. Their bond doesn't scream. It glows like soft light at dawn. Warm, real, undeniable. There are moments when they don't need to say a word. A hand on a shoulder. A shared smile. A laugh that only the two of them get. That's intimacy. That's the kind of love you don't need to explain. Some people search their whole lives for someone who just gets them. For Jungkook and Taehyung, they've had that all along. What they share isn't just seen, it's felt. Through every interaction, every side glance, every instinctive gesture. It's in the details. The way they listen. The way they wait. The way they stay. Their love, yes, let's call it that, isn't performative. It's protective. And in a world where everything is constantly filmed, posted, dissected, they've managed to keep the most beautiful parts just for themselves. Isn't that the purest kind of love? Not the one that demands attention, but the one that thrives without it. When Jungkook and Taehyung are together, time feels slower, safer, as if the world fades and only their rhythm remains. That's not friendship. That's soul-deep connection. They've built something timeless, not based on trends or fan service, but on day-to-day closeness, on showing up even when no one's clapping. They don't need to prove anything, because real love, it speaks for itself. Taehyung doesn't have to tell us how much Jungkook means to him. We see it every time he looks at him like home. Jungkook doesn't have to shout it either. His actions, small, steady, sincere, speak louder than any post. And maybe that's why so many fans can't stop watching. Because in a world full of noise, their silence feels like truth. So the next time you see a moment between them, a glance, a seat chosen, a dish shared, remember, that's not just friendship. That's love in its most honest form. And maybe, just maybe, that's the kind of love we all dream of. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on the latest news from the world of K-pop. See you in the next video.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything